Howdy, today on Flippin Science, looking at naming aldehydes and ketones. So science understanding is aldehydes and ketones are produced by the oxidation of primary and secondary alcohols. Identify, name systematically, and draw structural formulae of aldehydes and ketones containing up to 8 carbon atoms in the main chain and one or more aldehyde or ketone groups. We're going to start with aldehydes and ketones. They both feature the carbonyl group, which is a C with a double bond to an O somewhere in the chain. Aldehydes, the C double bond O, the carbonyl group, it's at the end of the chain. With ketones, it's somewhere in the middle of the chain, not at the end. They're both made from the oxidation of alcohols. So aldehydes, they're made from oxidation of primary alcohols, ketones from the oxidation of secondary alcohols. We've got some examples down here. So we've got formaldehyde down here, which is official name is methanal. Here we've got ethanal, so there's 2 carbons, it's still at the end of the chain. Propanal, so there's 3 carbons, but the C double bond O group is still at the end of the chain, and so on. Down here we've got a ketone, so this is propanone. So the C double bond O group is in the middle, it's not at the end of the chain. So when we look at naming aldehydes, we put the suffix Al at the end of the parent carbon chain. You'll see the C double bond OH group, it's always at the end of the chain, and you just put Al at the end of the carbon chain. So let's have a look over here. So we've got 3 carbons, so 1, 2, 3. So methyl ethyl propyl, so it's going to be propanal. Propanal. So we just put that at the end of the chain. If we look at this one here, we count our carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So pentanal. This one's going to be. So pentanal. If we look at this one over here, we've got a methyl group, but in terms of naming, the most important thing is the carbonyl group at the end here. So we've got carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to number from this end because that's where the big important bit is. So we've got a methyl group on carbon 2, so 2 methyl and 7, so heptanal. Alright, so to name ketones, because it's on a specific carbon in the middle of a chain, not at the end, we need to number it. So we use the number as an infix, and our suffix is -one. So here's our example here, so propan 2-one, or just propanone, is the only place that the ketone group can go on. So let's start with this one here in the middle. So we'll count our carbons, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's going to be heptan 4-one. So heptan is the parent chain, so heptan. On carbon 4, we've got the ketone group, and the suffix is -one. If we have a look at this one over here, we count from this end because that'll give us our lowest number for this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's going to be octan because we've got 8. The parent carbon chain, octan 3-one. If we look at this one over here, we've got a methyl group, so that makes things a little bit more complicated. We could number from here or here, it doesn't make a difference. Again, we want to number so the ketone group over here is on the lowest number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we've got a methyl group on carbon 2. So 2 methyl, heptan 3. It's on carbon 3-one. That's where our carbonyl group is. Alright. Now, if you have more than one aldehyde or ketone group, you need to indicate that, and you do that using a suffix. And the suffix is a dial if you have 2 aldehydes, or dione if you have 2 ketone groups. Then if you had 3, it would be trial and trione. This will get quite complicated with trials because you'll have another carbon branch in here. So I think you'll probably only get more, 2 would probably be sensible. With triones, you may have to number because the ketone groups can, the carbonyl group of the ketone can move around in the carbon chain. With aldehydes, they're always at the end of the chain, so numbering normally isn't required. Let's have a look at this one down here as an example. How many carbons? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. So we're going to have pent. Now we're going to have pentan because then we're going to have dial after that. So pentanediol. Pent-diol doesn't sound quite right, so pentanediol is better. If we look at this one here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons again. So we're going to have pent and pentan. Now we need to indicate which carbons the ketone groups are with an infix of the numbers. So this is carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's pentan 2, 4 hyphen dione. Okay, so on carbon 2 and carbon 4 we have our ketone groups. So pentan 2, 4 dione. Now remember, letter, number, letter, you need to have a hyphen and you need to have a comma separating numbers. So today on Flipping Science we looked at naming aldehydes and ketones. That's it for Flipping Science today. See ya.